Hey guys, welcome to Adilicious and I'm Aditi, and today I'll be showing you how to cover a dummy cake in fondant. So there are times when people want tall elaborate cakes but they don't want as much cake. So that's when you use dummy cakes. I'll show you how I covered a styrofoam dummy in one such cake I did. So you'll need a styrofoam dummy cake of whatever size you need. Mine is an 8 inch. You'll need some shortening to help the fondant stick to the styrofoam. I'm using Crisco. Then you need some fondant to cover the cake. And you need a board to stick the dummy on and some double-sided tape to stick the dummy on the board so that it doesn't move. Take a piece of double-sided tape and stick it to the bottom of the dummy and then flip it onto the board and press it down firmly in place so that it doesn't move around while covering it. Now take some shortening and rub it generously all over the styrofoam dummy. What this does is firstly fill in any small indentation or marks, and secondly helps the fondant stick to the dummy. If your dummy is very uneven, you can sand it using sandpaper to even it out, or instead of shortening you can use ganache to crumb coat, which fills in bigger holes in the dummy. Once the dummy is covered in shortening, it's time to roll out the fondant, but first knead it to soften it and make it pliable. Using a rolling pin, roll it out to about 1/8 inch thickness. Measure the diameter of the fondant. It should be big enough to cover the dummy. Pick up the fondant and drape it over the dummy. Then using the palm of your hand, adhere the fondant to the top of the dummy and then quickly work on the corners because they are sharp and that's where the fondant tends to tear. Gently pull the fondant away from the dummy using one hand and then using the other hand slide the fondant down the dummy to stick it down without forming any crease. Continue pulling and smoothing it out till your entire dummy is covered in fondant. Then using a fondant smoother, go around the cake once to smooth the fondant out. Roughly cut the excess fondant at the bottom, not close to the edge of the dummy just yet. Slightly nudge the edge of the fondant towards the dummy. What this does is, it sticks the fondant to the bottom edge of the dummy so that when we finally cut the excess fondant, we get a clean cut. Now using two fondant smoothers, placing one on the side of the dummy in line with the top edge, push the fondant outwards using the other smoother. This helps in achieving sharp edges. If you have to cover the cake board, then roll out a thin round of fondant bigger than the cake board and cut out a circle approximately the size of the cake. Then make a slit at one end and fold it over itself and keep it aside. Then using a damp tissue, wet the cake board to stick the fondant onto the cake board. Then lay the strip of fondant and stick it flush to the edge of the dummy. Where the two ends meet, cut a straight line and remove the two pieces of extra fondant and smooth the join using a smoother. Cut the overhanging fondant using the cake board as a guide with a sharp knife. And a dummy is beautifully covered in fondant. Now you can decorate it however you want. Here I made a tuxedo cake with the top tier as real cake and bottom a dummy. I hope you found this helpful. If you did, leave me a comment down below. Give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more such videos every week. See you again. Bye.